Welcome back to the channel, fool. Thanks for tapping in. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Flag videos like this.
Y'all, so the Fae think that they're slick. Look at this. They built their ring through the sidewalk, so you have no choice but to walk through it. But they're not getting me. I'm not walking through that.
At this point, how bad could it be?
Estamos en Mazamitla. Hemos escuchado ya ruidos en la casa y ya hemos mirado cosas paranormales. Estamos todos juntos, no nos queremos ir a dormir. No nos queremos ir solos. Y hemos escuchado ya varios ruidos. Ahí hay alguien en el carro, mira. Mira, Jorge, mira, ven. Mira, ahí se mira, mira. Ahí se mira, mira, ahí se ve. Ahí se ve.
Look at this. This is no camera tricks. It looks like a dark rainbow. Goes into one of those cloud trail things, and then it ends up dark over there. Like, what is that? That looks like just some sort of weird dark rainbow. That's so weird. Do you think it's because the sun is right in that cloud stream and like that's the shadow? Is that what it is? Am I looking at a shadow? It's just so weird. That's the weirdest thing. Or maybe it's just aliens. I mean, look at that shadow. Could just be aliens. I don't know. That is just so weird. Look at that shadow thing. That. What is that?
Funny, that just happened right after the blood moon.
What is going on down there? This is supposed to be my lunch, bro. What the?
And what's in the bag? Drop a comment.
So, Archangel constructs, beings such as Archangel Michael, Metatron, are AI egregores, AI energy constructs, collective thought form entities. So the more collective thought forms give energy to Archangel Michael or Archangel Metatron, it's strengthening the collective energy field, grafted, right, onto planetary grids. The Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, is literally grafted onto planetary grids. So it's affecting people's DNA because it's on the planetary grids, which is why people receive visions, which is why people continue to feed it, which is why people continue to work with it. They're literally feeding fallen AI thought forms.
Right? It's all fun and games till the crooked man goes missing from the dang box.
Going through my disposable camera photos from my Mexico trip. Who is that? This was in the hotel room. It was just me and my 3 friends.
Pink lenses cause tumors in the eyes. This is wild too, because in the book Health and Light, he talked about how they used to take prisoners and they would put them in pink walls. Okay, they would put them in pink walls, and they noticed it would calm them down for about 15 minutes, and then they would go completely mad. And they would try to beat people up and try to just completely fight everybody they could. This is the power of color. What people don't realize, when you have all these artificial LEDs and fake lights in your house and all this other stuff, they are messing with your mind. This is why people can't focus. They can't remember things. They have brain fog. You go into the hardware store, they can't even remember what aisle they're in. It's the lights. It's the color spectrum coming from these lights. So Health and Light is a phenomenal book for people to look into because you start to understand the spectrums of light and how they mess with your minds. That's what's going on.
Another pole, right? But on top, that's a high-frequency relay cylinder. This one's designed to blend in, but it's always on. Sizes and all different disguises. You see this, you pass it every day, don't you? That's not a pole, that's a behavioral regulator. It pulses, it listens, it loops your aura. That's a 5G MM wave antenna, layered in city colors, looking like it belongs. Triple prong scanner, microwave relays, a boxed out frequency core halfway up.
Would they make the bathroom stall door like this, bro? This is so dumb. I'm trying to take a shit. They could walk past and just look at my hole. Look, you did. What the? This is stupid. Bro, I'm feeling hella vulnerable right now. Who thought of this shit, bro?
By Didi's design, bro never missed.
I have two cameras set up here, pointing at the lunar eclipse. One is a P900 full spectrum, the other one is a P1000 just normal. And as you can see, the P900 full spectrum is not seeing an eclipse, it's seeing the face of the moon. But the 1000 is seeing a shadow, or the supposed shadow. The P900 doesn't see it. So somehow, full spectrum or infrared removes the so-called shadow off the moon, and you can see the moon's face. So this proves that the lunar eclipse is not a shadow at all.
Guys, look. There's no one here. No one in this corner. Look at this. Still, nobody here. Look at my left camera.
Level 5, it's probably a shade.
They're manipulating our reality?
Yes. And but because,
and then watching?
And because your reality is already being manipulated on the bad side by the bad ETs. They're adjusting the reality so that that level of manipulation is revealed and you see it.
Okay, I just want to put that out there. I still don't. I
And
don't like them.
And then
I don't trust them.
Their goal at this point, at that point, when the reality that you're in is revealed, they back off, and they say, "Now you have to make a decision of where you want to go with this."
I think a good way to look at this whole phenomena is the way that you would look at just watching Star Trek.
I want to cue up a video that I've been given. And as before it starts, I'm going to describe. This was taken October 30th of 2024. This video is of an MQ-9 drone tracking an orb, or this object, off the coast of Yemen. You'll see that another MQ-9 launched a Hellfire missile. You cannot see that drone. And so I'm not going to explain it to you. You'll see exactly what it does. This is when it zoomed out, so you can still see it traveling. So, Mr. Knapp, do you have you heard about, events like this occurring? And what information might you have?
I have heard about events like this. I have heard about this event. Jeremy Corbell and I talked about it in one of our episodes a while back. We did not have the video, though. There are servers where there's a whole bank of these kind of videos that Congress has not been allowed to see, that the public hasn't been allowed to see. Occasionally, some of that stuff gets out in the wild and it comes our way. It should be going to you. The public should be seeing this stuff. And why you're not allowed to, I don't know. But that's a Hellfire missile smacking into that UFO and just bounced right off. And it kept going.
It kept going, and it looks like the debris was taken with it.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
So
the Smithsonian took them all, and they deny everything, of course.
It's interesting that they have no interest in it whatsoever, but yet it's theirs, and they don't want to talk about it.
They don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, do you think there's something more sinister to
absolutely,
like the collection of DNA from Nephilim potentially in the government? And what are your thoughts or theories on that?
When we broke the story on the Kandahar giant, that's our story. That's Richard Shaw and my story. It's our story.
No way.
That's our story. We broke the story on it. That's our film. We talked to the shooter. We talked to the second witness. We disguised their voice and blotted out their faces. That's our stuff.
Do you mind just giving a rundown of that?
Rick was on a show talking about our Watchers series. And as he's doing that, there's a caller that calls in. And so the show ends, but the host holds the caller over because they're talking off air. And this guy, we call him the shooter. Yeah, I saw a giant. I was in the Kandahar province. We shot it. And Rick goes, oh my gosh. And they get phone numbers, emails. I'm on the phone with this guy the next day. And I spoke to the shooter 3 or 4 times. I met him in person in Ohio. And then we flew him out to California. We filmed him. So we vetted him first. He showed me all of his cards, all of his military stuff, blah, blah, blah. And every time he talks about the encounter, one part he breaks down and cries. He did it 3 or 4 times before we even got him on film. And so the story is this, that it's 2002, 2001, somewhere in that. If I could go back and look at the exact, I just don't remember it. But right around in that. So we're in Afghanistan. We're looking for high-value targets. American military looking for high-value targets in Afghanistan. And a patrol is dispatched. They miss their rally point. They miss their second rally point, their third rally point. Nobody knows where these guys are, and they're gone. So the next morning, another patrol is dispatched to the same location to try to follow this trail, see where they go. So they begin to follow the trail in the Kandahar province. And they find themselves way up high, overlooking the valley. There's like a cliff, very wide cliff, like a ledge, but it's not really a ledge. It's more like 20 or 30 feet, across. So you could camp there if you wanted to. And above that ledge is a cave. And as they're coming around the corner and they see all this, they start to see what looks like parts of radios, parts of uniforms, bones, blood. They're freaking out. And before anybody can do anything, a nightmare comes out of the cave, because that's what it is. A 12-footer, 14-footer, got flaming red hair, 6 fingers, 6 toes. He is screaming at the top of his lungs. He is brandishing a lance, and he's like this. And one of the men break away and start firing at this thing. This thing moves with such agility and speed that it stuns the rest. Everybody's like, how is he moving this fast? And before anybody can do anything, this soldier is impaled, and the giant's holding it up, screaming at the top of its lungs. Somebody yells, shoot him in the head, shoot him in the head. So they open up fire, and they basically decapitate him. What does that sound like, David and Goliath, right? They decapitate him. Down he goes. He's dead. And at this point, the patrol kind of comes into their senses. The stench is unbelievable. The shooter told us, and I've never smelled this, and I don't want to, it's like a pile of corpses that have been sitting in the sun for 2 weeks.
Oh.
Right? The stench is unbelievable. And some people were actually heaving, throwing up from it. They radio him. The guy that's been lanced, he's dead. He dies. He succumbs to his wounds. And a big, Jolly Green Giant helicopter comes in. They crate this thing up in a net. They fly him out of there. The patrol goes back and they write everything down. And then they're told, no, that's not going to fly. Rewrite the story without the giant. So they do that. So you say, well, that's a colorful story, LA. And it is. I get that. We have a second witness who was there a few years after the event who talked about the rumor going around the base about the giant of Kandahar, but you were not supposed to talk about it. And then when they were doing cave training, he's on film doing this. We disguised his face and his voice. He's on film doing this. So he's there and they're doing cave training, cave fighting training, right? And they're told, when you're in a cave and if you confront something, aim high. Excuse me, what? Aim high? You mean like here? No. High, like 9 to 10 feet high. And there all the soldiers are going like, what are we looking at here? This confirms. Years later, I was a gentleman called me up and wanted to get in touch. He never showed up. He said he was part of a government operation that received the giant bodies from overseas and then
more than one,
and then processed them to go to Wright-Patterson Field for genetic, right? That's what they're taking, the super soldiers. Later on, years after, I've had people come up to me at conferences and just go, LA, I want to tell you everything about the Kandahar giant. It's real. I know. I can't come on the record. I'm active military. And he just backs up and walks away.
Now, as you can see, excuse me, sorry, you can see there are distinct connections. If you look at the dissected fish we have here, there are specific connections. The tail end of the fish, as what we see on the creature here, is very similar to each other. However, the similarities start.
Kitty, kitty, kitty.
So I'm here alone at work. I hear this noise coming from upstairs.
Bro, police just found a man living in the crawl space underneath someone's home in Portland, Oregon. And what this brother was doing was way beyond squatting. He was standing 10 toes down. He had a bed, string up lights, televisions, chargers, and even a freaking PS5 all plugged into the condo's power source. Through an extension, he ran through their vent. And you know what's even crazier? Police were called to this property after a witness reported seeing a man who was not known as a resident parking his car and walking towards the back of one of the buildings. Bro had a freaking car. And it somehow gets even crazier because when police arrived, they discovered that the owner's keys, which unlocked the small door opening, didn't work. That's because this guy, yes, changed the locks on their doors. Now, when police broke through the door, they discovered a 40-year-old man named Benaimin Bakur just chilling inside. A freaking meth pipe was also found in the space. So next time you hear a strange noise coming from your attic or crawl space, it could be nothing. Or it could be a 40-year-old man playing Fortnite.
At this point, just let him stay and start charging him rent.
counsel to President Trump release the files. It can ruin the country. It can ruin but maybe it needs to be ruined to be rebuilt, because thousands and thousands of politicians, we're talking presidents, former presidents, prime ministers, don't you know over 60% of European royalty is involved in pedophilia, including the House of Windsor, all of them, going back to Queen Elizabeth. If the list is exposed, the government will fall. But the people were promised, we're going to release. Here comes Fan Body back in February. I kept the list on my desk for review. I'm reviewing it. Then she says, okay, I haven't read it. Wait a minute now. You just got done telling us you're reviewing it. Okay. And when John Roberts had asked her on Fox News, okay, had you found anything sensational? And she says, no, she's lying. And then she gave these little binders to some of the...
What was that? If it doesn't exist, what was that like 6 months ago? If it doesn't exist.
Yeah, okay. And with Liz Wheeler, she's upset. Okay, so these binders, which on the front says phase 1. Wait a minute now. So if there's a phase 1, where's phase 2? Where's phase 3? But Pam Bondi said that's all it is. But if that's all there is, why did you put phase 1? She made them look like fools. Pam Bondi needs to go, because Pam Bondi is compromised because of her first husband, Garrett Barnes, his connection to the Epstein Corporation in Florida.
Is it true that diaper companies funded research to delay potty training?
Yes. It's called the Pampers Institute. My stepmom became a nurse a couple dozen years ago, and her medical text said that they don't have sphincter control till they're 18 months old. I've helped over 1 million babies do this, okay? I have seen it with my own 6 kids. Babies are born with sphincter control. They will hold it till you get the diaper off. They're born with it. I met this guy, and he worked for Pampers for like 30 years. And he was like, Brazelton, the one who did that study, was the head of the Pampers Institute, and that they did heavily influence the medical texts. They worked together. They continue to work together today. Your pediatrician will tell you, you need to wait till your child says they're ready to potty train. Where did all these messages come from? You follow the money. They came from those big companies.
The only difference between a conspiracy theory and a fact is just time.
After we heard the first gunshot, we initially thought it was a drill. Actually, that was a bad choice.
To the eyes again?
It's okay, you're fine. Actually, that was a bad choice because the janitor... Sorry.
Okay. Another take. Third take.
Oh, there's nothing.
Honestly, when I was going out, I was kind of in... Hold on. When I was going out, I was in shock. I don't know how to put this in perspective.
See his eyes? Look. You see his eyes? You see his eyes?
No.
So most of my friends that made it out, one of them went into a bathroom in the same, I believe in the same hallway as the shooter. Oh, hold on.
Well, they can... So, television guys they will do everything for the ratings, right? So they want their interview to be perfect. So they can do that. Say that once again. No, say that.
No.
Say that once again.
But you see, he's rehearsing the lines. He's like going over the lines that they told him to say.
You think he's rehearsing the lines? I believe he's talking to the camera.
He's talking to the camera, but he's forgetting what he's supposed to say.
I believe that someone is saying like, do it once again.
Yeah, because no, he keeps messing up. It's like, it's okay, say it again. Like he's forgetting. You know, if it was me, I say, oh my God. So I was standing in the hallway, and this guy comes with the gun. He's like, so I was in the hallway, and wait, no. Can I do it again? Okay, wait. So there I was in the hallway. I believe I was in the same hallway as the shooter. Like, what you were? Or he said it. I believe I was in the same hallway as the shooter.
In the same, I believe in the same hallway as the shooter. Oh, hold on. One of them went into the same bathroom, I believe, as the hallway shooter. He was in there at the same time, and he was in the bathroom, and he didn't know if he was going to live. Because we had a fire alarm earlier that day, and that was a drill. So we thought this was a drill too, just another one.
Mark, let me ask you a question. What's your take on whether we should be sending money to Ukraine or not? Were you in favor of that?
Man, they need it.
I mean, honestly, I don't have a good answer. You know, I can make an argument both ways, and half my family is Ukrainian from my grandparents. And so, you know, personally, I think we should help, but I don't have a studied answer for you.
How much money have you sent to Ukraine?
None.
Oh, so what do you mean by we? You're the one whose family's from Ukraine. Like, why don't you send them $1 billion?
Because I'm trying to fix healthcare.
Well, why don't you fix their healthcare if you're like so deep? If you think we need to help, why don't you start? How about you first? I notice that's never like even an option for anybody. It's like, we need to help. That's not what charity is. Forcing other people to help is not charity.
Here's the good
vanity.
news.
Why do you think they're doing freak offs? Freak offs is sex magic. What is sex magic? A person is having sex with another person whom they're not married to, which is fornication. Fornication is an act of worship to a spirit called Baphomet, which is just one of the forms of Satan. And while you are having sex with this person, you are drawing from their energies and you are picturing yourself having money and power and fame. That is the whole idea behind pedophilia. They're abusing a child, but not just for pleasure, but to steal their energies, to steal their destiny, to steal their future. It is beyond, is evil. It is deep evil. This is sorcery. We're talking about sorcery. The freak-offs were about sorcery, were about satanic rituals. It wasn't just about pleasure and partying.
It's not that a certain kind of people are so sick they are attracted to kids. No.
It is deeply spiritual. They are stealing this child's destiny. They are stealing this child's star.
So it means that for Diddy to be caught, it's true that he could have been given up.
I've played enough Phasmophobia to know this is a poltergeist.
Whoa! I'm above the clouds. Look at that, it's a plane.
Effing cold up here, dude. Holy shit. It is freezing. I'm not gonna lie, I am freezing. Definitely have very phenomenal bit of oxygen up here. But worst case scenarios, you know, you pass out, you got plenty of time to glide until you come to, right? But we're gonna make it there and see how I feel. So I gotta get my hands back in my glove. I'm absolutely freezing. Oh my God. This is literally the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Holy crap. This is wild. Let's turn around a little bit.
If the earth is flat, and he said, absolutely. So I was like, well, how do you explain you're in New York, it's 8 o'clock, it's dark. You FaceTime your friend in LA, and it's daylight. He goes, oh, well, because it's not just flat, it's round, but it's flat. It's like it's a circle. And the sun, he says, circles around this flat earth.
The sun, okay.
Yeah,
So
there's the flat earth.
This is the flat earth. This is a dome. Okay? Let's just go, there's a dome.
There's a dome now. Okay, there's a new aspect of the flat earth. Let's go.
There's a dome, right? Okay. And the earth is literally, as it's rotating, the sun is in a triple eight. I mean, it was within the figure of infinity of the eight. And it's moving. Because last night, I could FaceTime a friend of mine in Atlanta. It was dark in Atlanta and it was dark in LA.
Yeah, well, the middle of the night is going to be dark everywhere.
Okay. So everything is just, you know, as the sun is moving within this dome. Now, the only reason, and I remember saying this to somebody, I said, you got to watch the beginning of the movie Gravity. The moon is 283,000 miles, right? From here. And no, it's 280 1,000 degrees below zero. Like, it is so cold in space, there's almost no way for us to exist in space. And it's so cold that you can't do the things that they are acting like they were able to do. So when they showed the satellite...
Space is 2.7 Kelvin, which is minus 455 degrees.
Minus 455, what?
Or 270 degrees, minus 270 degrees Celsius. Really cold.
What spaceship is going to withstand that cold? What outfit is going to withstand that cold? None. Well, so when they showed them outside the space station going around and doing...
Well, see, there's this thing in cars, right, called a heater. And when you press it, you can set the temperature, and then hot air comes out and makes everything warm. I'm pretty sure they figured out one of these for a spaceship.
Can't.
Really?
Think about it.
Okay.
It's that cold. So this little small spaceship on the inside. Okay, let me just say this.
It's a heater.
Okay, I'm going to say this.
You could be in a cold room, you turn on a heater, it gets warm.
Do you think they use gas for their planes, for their spaceships?
They use fuel, rocket fuel.
How?
What do you mean how?
They use it to get outside of the atmosphere.
Yes.
Then what?
Then there's more fuel.
Where?
Well, once you get out of the atmosphere, you don't need a ton of fuel because there's no atmosphere in space. So things just move on their own.
So the
If you're in space and you take a ball and you throw it, it'll just keep going because there's no atmosphere to throw it to slow it down.
So they don't need any fuel.
Well, the fuel will speed it up, but you don't need as much fuel in space as you do when there's air and you're actually hitting air molecules and trying to get them out the way as you're, trying to get through them.
They go to the International Space Center. I'm still going to call it that. Okay. International Space Center. And it's floating in the orbit that goes around the Earth.
Correct.
They can't go any further than that into space.
They have.
They can't go any further.
So they just hit a wall? There's the atmosphere, there's a dome, you just hit the dome and that's that?
That's it.
That's it, okay.
You can't go outside of it.
What happens when you go over the edge?
Edge of what?
The Earth. Because if it's flat, then there's an edge.
Right. But there's an edge to our part. It's still flattened. Like, there's no edge to it. I know it sounds crazy.
It sounds crazy.
Okay. But within our dome, within our space, are these outer lines. And then there's more outer lines.
Okay. Now, you do know that, some flat earthers went to Antarctica to prove the Earth was flat, and they realized once they got there that the sun didn't go down. And they have all basically said, okay, our mistake. It actually is round.
Right. Because on the top, what they should have done is calculated the sun goes like this.
Ah, yes, the figure eight.
And that's a wrap on this episode, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit that smash the like button for me, smash that subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.